a little blind buy haul of things that are really either affordable or quite cheap or just random stuff that I saw and I just kind of wanted to test out. So this is from a couple of places. This one is from Debenhams. I think it was about £16 in the sale. And then I've got some stuff from eBay and I've got some stuff from Notino. So there's a bit of a mixture going on here. This first one is Paul Smith Rose limited edition, and I've seen a few of the limited editions. This I think is supposed to be 2019, but finding the notes for these are interesting because I've seen two different places. It's not on Fragrantica, this particular one, but I've seen the notes for the limited edition Paul Smith Rose. It's supposed to be this one in two different places, and they both have different notes. But from looking at the notes on Fragrantica of the limited editions, they do seem to recycle them every few years. So I'm guessing that this one, I'm going to give you the notes that I think match the actual scent of it. So as you can see, this is the bottle. Absolutely no information on it that's helpful in any way about the notes. There's nothing on Paul Smith's website about these perfumes. I don't know if he owns the Rose perfumes anymore, but there are some perfumes on his website when I had a look, but it was very expensive. Not these. I quite like I really like the really heavy metal lid on this. Okay. But I haven't smelt the original Paul Smith Rose for a really long time. And all I can really say is that I think I don't really like the Paul Smith Rose original. I don't really like his interpretation, or that perfume's interpretation of Rose very much. I find it a little bit dry and quite screechy. But these, they always have other notes in, so I thought I'd try it. And I have tried it. Let's have a look. Ooh, spray it. I really do like the lid on this. It's really like heavy, but it jiggles a little bit, which is, you can probably hear it. Okay, so there's a big burst of rose and something that smells quite sharp, a bit sour at first. It's got that classic kind of Yardley rose, but a bit more screechy, I'd say. There's definitely a fruit in the top of this. So first I'll tell you the notes that I've found. Like, there's some on Amazon. So the Amazon ones, they say vibrant blackcurrant, mouth-watering strawberry, tea rose, apricot, peachy osmanthus flower. Now that's the one that makes sense to me. On Perfumo, is it called? Yeah, Perfumo.com. They've listed this 2019 one as apple, lemon and pink pepper in the top. Bulgarian Rose, Absolute Green Tea, Magnolia, Paul Smith Rose and Violet in the heart notes, Amber, Cedar and White Musk in the base. But, yeah, I don't know. There's something very berry-like when this dries down. And I don't think I really get osmanthus from this. So what I've looked at is one of the other special editions, I think it's called Summer Edition, actually, the one that I found that I thought matched what this actually smells like. So the Summer Edition on Fragrantica is top notes of blackcurrant, bergamot and apricot, middle notes tea rose, violet and strawberry, base notes white musk and cedar. So I don't really like the woodiness of this. I think the rose is really screechy. You really get kind of an apricot-y blackcurrant smell when you first spray it, but they're very sharp. And then on my skin, I don't get it at all on the paper, but on my skin, I do get something that smells a little bit like a strawberry or some kind of berry, but not really blackcurrant, you know? Yeah, it's definitely got a slight strawberry vibe when it dries down, but again, it's very crisp, it's very sharp. I just don't really like this perfume. It's not one that I want to keep. The reason I decided to get it, apart from the fact it was £16 on sale for 100ml, which I thought was a bargain, it's because I just got another, it's in this haul actually, I got one from eBay, a Paul Smith one that I thought was quite interesting. And also I'd just done my rose perfumes and I was thinking to myself, one of the most classic roses that's been like produced forever is Paul Smith Rose. So I thought I'd have a go, but I don't like it. This is not one I'm going to keep. I just find it so dry. Very dry, it makes my nose kind of pucker up, if you see what I mean. It's just not for me. So that's the first one. Quite a cool bottle, but yeah, they've all got slightly different things on the outside if you're looking to try and work out what's what. But as with the Ted Baker Baker perfumes, they're kind of like, there's not really much information. So the next one is another Paul Smith, and this is one that's not in production anymore, but I got it on eBay. It pops up all over the place. You can actually still get it at some perfume sellers as well, but I don't think it's like talked about. So this is Paul Smith Portrait for Women. It comes, I think, in something like random, like 40 mils or 80 mils. Again, no information on here, but this one thankfully is on Fragrantica. Now, I won't lie, part of what attracted me to this, apart from the fact it's got a tea note, is the bottle, because I really, really like this bottle. I think it's beautiful. Although, unfortunately, I do need to try to clean it, because it's a bit of a nightmare for fingerprints. But this is the bottle for Paul Smith Portrait for Women. I think it's really chic. I really like this one. I like the colour. I think it's lovely. So, yeah, very pretty. Very reflective as well. Can you really see? Hopefully that's all right. So, this one, the notes I thought were really intriguing. It's got pretty good reviews, although not many reviews, you know. So, the notes here are top notes of cardamom, blackcurrant, bergamot, black tea and peach, middle notes of wild rose and jasmine, base notes of myrrh and musk. So it's not just your standard kind of rosy perfume with a bit of tea in it. The cardamom and the myrrh makes this smell quite unusual. I'm going to spray it. Actually, I might spray this one on my skin. So let's have a discussion. It's not going to go very well with the Lush perfume that I'm wearing at the moment, but I'm just going to do it high up on my arm, you know. So there you go. Such a pretty bottle. I really like it. So it's an interesting smell, this one, but I kind of recognise it in a weird way, even though it's quite unusual. I'm definitely getting a bergamot, but it's not sharp. I'm not entirely sure I'd have guessed there's blackcurrant, because I think that myrrh comes through so strongly. I think the cardamom and the myrrh mixed with it's much more of a bergamot-y, peachy, black tea kind of smell than blackcurrant. It's spicy, it's pretty, it's warm. But the thing with this one, and I'm trying to kind of weigh up, I'll keep it for a little while and I'll see how I feel. The thing with this one is it does remind me almost of a mixture of two other perfumes that I really like. There's something about it that's almost appley. Yeah, and there's something about it that's kind of ever so slightly pencil shaving-y, but I know it's not that pencil shaving smell. It's not really a woody smell. I think that's coming from the myrrh. The last time I had a perfume with myrrh in it was a Aqua Colonia one, a unisex one, and I gave that to my husband because it didn't really sit very well on me. It turned it a bit masculine. But this doesn't smell masculine, but it smells kind of powdery. It's really hard to describe it. But the first thing I thought of when I tried this on my skin was of Sarah Jessica Parker's Endless perfume from her Lovely collection. And then also it reminds me a bit of the Twilight from that same collection. It feels a little bit like the kind of fruity and slightly green Endless perfume that to me smells like a gentle floral apple with some little green notes put in, but it's still kind of it's really crisp and it's really pretty, but it also has a slight softness in the base. Twilight is like a very, very light powdery amber perfume. It kind of has a slight baby powder smell, and this one has that same kind of vibe. So what I'm trying to work out, because this one's actually very light, so it might be that this one's going to be really nice in summer and it just needs to be like an enveloping kind of warm skin scent, or it might be that it's going to be really good in cold weather, you know. It might be that it needs some cool weather to really highlight the spices and to kind of turn it into something maybe slightly more interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's just quite an interesting perfume. It really does remind me of both of those. And I have both of those in my collection, so I don't really need it, but I do love that bottle. I think it's really, really slick. Very, very pretty. So let's move on to... Okay, let's do this little tiny one. I've got this little teeny tiny one. This is Saint Dupont Paris, and it's 58 Avenue Montaigne. I'm not sure if I've pronounced that properly. This is a little tiny 5ml eau de parfum. The only reason I got this is because there is a panna cotta note in it. This is when I was trying to find a nice panna cotta, but I have to say the mini is really cute. I don't know if you can see, but it's got like a two-toned thing going on here. You might not be able to see it. It's almost sort of pearlescent, slightly blue on the outside. Very, very cute. This is one of those perfumes that for some reason I find very sort of screechy, mixed with the very sweet notes. The notes in this: top notes, raspberry, blackcurrant and lemon. Middle notes, cyclamen, violet and jasmine. Base notes, panna cotta, musk and patchouli. And you do get a bit of that sweetness from the panna cotta in the base, but I also sense some patchouli. I don't like the jasmine in this, and I find the fruits very screechy. I find the florals quite screechy, but I think maybe this also has a bit of a screechy musk in it, or at least one that I don't like. What I would say about this particular perfume is that if you like Wanted Girl and if you like Idole Nectar by Lancome, I don't think you would smell this in the same way that I do, because that's the kind of thing it's reminding me of, and I can't wear either of those perfumes. I find them both very, very screechy and unpleasant, but that's on my skin and that's to my nose, and I know that most people don't find the same thing with that. But yeah, this one didn't work out for me, but it is really cute. I might just put that, when I sell a perfume next, I might just chuck that in with one that I think it will go with. So that was just a little quick one. But okay, this was a new perfume. I haven't heard anyone talking about it. There's not really that many reviews of it yet. I saw it come out and I thought I should be safe with this, to be honest, because Lanvin have a musk that I love. I find their musks to be sweet and creamy and a little bit like a bar soap. So I bought Mon Eclat. This one I think must have come out relatively recently, but I'm not sure if it's just that I didn't see it for a while. It popped up on the Tino and I thought, ooh, I'm going to have to try this. I think it looks really interesting despite it having jasmine in. Now that might be one of the worst offenders for me just generally, so probably shouldn't be surprised this didn't work, but I've been a bit surprised by it just generally. It's got, again, really annoying clinky stuff on it. It's got these kind of rings. I'm not sure what the point of them are, but anyway, a very cute bottle. Again, quite slick. I thought it was going to be round because I think I was thinking of Eclat d'Arpège, you know, and that one's round, but Arpège itself isn't actually round. It's a slightly different shape. So I guess all of these perfumes that have kind of slightly similar bottles in some way are all slightly different as well. So Mon Eclat from Eclat d'Arpège by Lanvin. The notes are top notes of aloe vera and bergamot, middle notes of apricot, jasmine and rose, base notes of white musk and sandalwood. Now I was like, hopefully the jasmine's quite low down. I like the idea of aloe vera. I'm not sure I've got aloe vera in any of my other perfumes. I liked the idea of bergamot. I like apricot. I like rose. I love sandalwood, and I normally really like their musk. Maybe it's because it's white musk that this does not smell like a Lanvin perfume to me. I have Jeanne by Lanvin, and that smells like a Lanvin perfume. Modern Princess smells like a Lanvin perfume. Oxygen smells like a Lanvin perfume. They all share exactly the same bar soap style musk. And I've sort of come to think of that musk as the Lanvin musk. This doesn't smell like that at all. It doesn't smell like a soft bar soap. It smells shampooey and screechy and harsh. Oh, it's so sharp. I find this so sharp. I can't find any sweetness in it at all. It's instant headache for me, this one. It's got a really nice, really good heavy lid, very solid, really nicely put on. I was so sad. I think when I talk about the screechiness in this, and I compare it to Lancome, and I think it's the musk, and I think that because I've heard another reviewer talk about Idole, the one that I sniffed, Idole Nectar having a very screechy musk. This makes my nose pucker up in the same way. And I think when there's jasmine involved as well, it makes it even worse. I can't get on with it. I was really sad because some of the reviews say this is a beautiful, sweet skin scent. They recommend it for like young people, and it's quite light, quite easy to wear. This one was such a scrubber for me. It made me really sad. It was so screechy. It was so strong. So very sadly, that is not staying with me. And I was really surprised. I normally love a Lanvin musk. Even if I don't like the perfume, I normally like the actual musk. So anyway, oh, I've started opening it before I've even talked about it. This one is baffling, and I've wanted it for ages. The reviews of this are all over the place, and some of the reviews that I like that I've seen talk about this, when I smelt it, I was like, I'm not sure I recognise what they're talking about in this, so I smell it very differently apparently. This is a Salvador Dali perfume called Laguna. So I'm a bit of an arty person, and I really like Salvador Dali. He was one of my early, well, to be honest, Magritte is my favourite, but I liked Salvador Dali as well. So anyway, I've wanted for quite a while to get one of the perfumes, partly just because I want one of the bottles that looks like a work of his art, you know. I've actually been in Paris. I think it's at the top of Montmartre, if I remember correctly. I've been to the Salvador Dali Museum there, and I saw some of the perfumes there, but it was a very, very long time ago. It would have been when I wasn't really spending much money because I was at university at that time. Either that or I'd just finished. I can't quite remember. But anyway, I really loved like the kind of sculptural quality of some of the weird bottles. So I've always wanted one. It's taken me a really long time to get them because, again, the reviews are all over the place. A lot of them have patchouli in, a lot of them are very woody. And so this was the one that I thought I had the best chance of liking. I saw it on a really good deal at Notino. I think this maybe cost me about £15 or something for a 30ml of Laguna. And so I thought I would have a look at the signature and everything. Fabulous. I wasn't expecting to be some kind of amazing quality because I know most of his perfumes are quite affordable. I mean, look at the bottle. I love it. I love the bottle so much. It's fabulous. It's got like a frosted lip, a little signature, but the actual bottle is shiny. Oh, it's magical. And I'm glad that I've got a 30ml and nothing bigger because it would take up quite a lot of space. This is a much better way to have it. When it first arrived, I've got the nose the wrong way around, have I? No, I think those are supposed to be. I think I kept turning it round to this way, but I think it's supposed to be the other way. Yeah, it's just got this sort of seam down there, so it's a bit weird. This is strange, this perfume, and I'll tell you why. I saw someone talking about this, and they literally said it has no sweetness. This is one of the sweetest green perfumes I've smelt. It's incredibly sweet to me and my nose. My nose, haha. Yes, it starts off with some tartar fruits, but there is something so sugary in this. I'm talking Mugler Aura levels of sweetness, and I have a sample of that thanks to Claire Smith. So I was like, okay, I've got that one. I've got Green Lover by Lolita Lempicka, and I thought to myself when I got this, I'm going to have to make a video of sweet green perfumes because they are relatively unusual, but I've seem to have a few of them, and they're quite interesting, you know. They're like quite interesting perfumes. So I'm just going to make this look a bit neater. Right, the notes in Laguna are huge because I think this is an older perfume. I think it's been around for a little while, and they do tend to list loads of notes. I think probably there are loads of notes in modern perfumes, but they only tell you the things that they want you to know's there. So this one, top notes: pineapple, Moroccan lemon, grapefruit, galbanum leaf, peach, plum, mandarin orange and raspberry. Deep breath. Middle notes: Italian iris, Brazilian rosewood, jasmine, lily of the valley, Egyptian rose. The base is wild. Base notes: coconut, vanilla, Madagascar, sandalwood, tonka bean, musk, patchouli, amber and cedar. Now, this is very, very sweet to me. I can smell the vanilla, but I can smell the tonka bean far more, and there is a ton of it. The coconut is very sweet. I've still got the pineapple. The floral I get the most in this, I'm pretty sure, is iris, because it's powdery. It's pretty as well. I can smell sandalwood, definitely. Coconut, yes. Vanilla, yes. Tonka bean, yes. Musk, yes. I don't get huge amounts of patchouli. That's good. I don't get huge amounts of cedar. More cedar when you really, really deep dry down. It's pineapple, I think, is the strongest fruit here. But it's like a candied pineapple. And then you have just a slight brightness from that lemon and kind of grapefruit, I'd say. And maybe the mandarin orange. But everything else, is sweet. And that iris is powdery. Maybe some lily of the valley. I wouldn't necessarily have recognised rose and jasmine particularly strongly. Brazilian rosewood is also very smooth and beautiful and can be a bit powdery. It has that, like in June by Christian Dior, that's got lovely Brazilian rosewood in it. It's got a really nice powdery, like sandy kind of vibe about it. Yeah, this one is blowing my mind. It's really like very sweet coconut, very powdery iris, and very candied pineapple with a little bit of greenness and a tiny bit of an aquatic vibe. But it does not... Yeah, I wouldn't smell... If you just gave this to me and on my skin the same thing and I just smelt it, I would not describe it as aquatic. I think the colour of it and the fact it's called Laguna often would be like, well, this is very aquatic. But yeah, this is super sweet. It's also really fun. It's been fascinating to smell it. It doesn't at all smell how I was expecting it to smell. But of these, like these two are staying because I want to kind of test out with them. This one, and to be honest, this one, definitely not staying. They will be in a declutter because I'm never going to wear them. They're just not for me. But in terms of blind buys, I think the Paul Smith, I'm going to have a quick sniff again. So maybe Paul Smith is better, the portrait for women. Maybe that's better for cold weather. I'll have to test it out when it gets cold again. I'll have to put it to one side, and I'll have to do the same with Laguna because that's definitely not one that I'm going to be able to handle when it's hot weather. It's just way too sweet. But yeah, so there you go. That's my little haul. Let me know down below if any of you have any of these and how you feel about them. If any of you have Laguna, just tell me whether you think it's sweet or whether I'm just super sensitive to the kind of tonkariness that's going on there. Bye guys.